Hello everyone, welcome back to More Than Plastic. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Banshee figure and the also brand new Miles figure, both from the same wave. I just picked these two up and they just came in the mail. I figured I'd do an unboxing of these just because they're characters from my two favorite things, X-Men and Spider-Man, which my channel is very much based on. So just hang out with me, we're going to open these figures up, pose them, see what they could do, check out all the articulation. So let's get into it. Okay, so here they are out of the box, out of the packaging, and I actually played around with them a little bit just so I could see like how the articulation worked before I reviewed it. So as for articulation, they're really both great. So we'll start with Miles first. We'll do his accessories and all that first. So one thing about this figure though is he is very, very small. Like this is him next to Banshee. I'll do some comparisons in a little bit. We'll do different Miles and like Spider-Man figures just to see the comparison. But I think you guys could tell already he's very tiny, which does make sense because he was really young, obviously in the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, which this figure is from. So that is definitely why. But here, just take a look at the detail, get it focused there. Great paint lines. The back's really good. Let's get into articulation. It was pretty smooth. Just the one thing I had a little bit of tightness with was the neck joint. It's on this type of joint. It's a little tight, so you might want to heat that up. But yeah, so he could look up. Look side to side, look down pretty well, and a little bit of tilt. On these type of joints, you don't really get too much tilt, but it is there. Then for the arms, you have really, really great butterfly joints. He goes all the way back there. You can see there how far it is. And then same thing going forward. It goes forward a good amount. So that's always nice to see. Arm goes this much up. You got a swivel, of course. You got double jointed arms. The pivot at the wrist, all standard stuff there. Then we got the diaphragm cut there, and then the hinge there, which actually is my favorite type of joint for Spider-Man figures. I feel like this just always works because you get the nice cut there and the hinge. So I'm a fan of that. Then for legs, here's the problem, which we'll talk about in a second. But you have drop down hips there, swivel at the thigh, double jointed legs, and we got ankle articulation, but there are actually no toe joints on this figure, which I know people do like their toe joints, but it does have a swivel cut at the boot right there, so that's always good to see. So yeah, obviously the main gripe with this figure is definitely the legs. I'm sure you guys have seen people complain about them. They just come out like really far, just kind of in like this like static type of position, but when you articulate him, you really don't notice it at all. So let's get some poses going here. And you can just see he's really great at just like posing up really quickly. You could just get him to look really, really nice with it. So that's always great to see. Let's go over some accessories now. So here is the masked head, which at first I honestly didn't really love because I thought I didn't really love like the squinty eyes too much, but it is growing on me for sure. At first when I got this, I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna display him with the unmasked head because that is a really good head sculpt. Yeah, I was originally just gonna pose him with this, but this head sculpt's definitely growing on me. I do like it for sure. But yeah, you could just see though, look at these poses. Like he's just so easy to articulate. Very, very solid articulation on this one for sure. I think Marvel Legends is really getting a hand and a hold on their, articulation game. So for the hands, you get the tooth whippers, right and left, which is good to see. You get one fist, which kind of does stink. You get one wall crawling hand. Yeah, then you get this hand which is supposed to hold the comic that it comes with, which I think is really cool. I like the comic a lot. I think it's super cute. So yeah, he holds that just like this. There's the comic, the back of it, and it actually is like a book. Like it actually looks like a little book there. But yeah, it's made out of kind of like an interesting material. It's kind of like squishy almost. But we'll have him hold this in a second so you can see how it looks. So there he is holding his comic. That does look super nice. I like that. It's a cute look. You could even flip it the other way and have him like pretend like he's reading it, which is also pretty cool. So if you kind of wanted a shot like that from behind where he's like reading his own comic, that's pretty cool. I like it. So what does this figure get from me as a rating? As for articulation, honestly, I'm gonna give articulation like a 9.5 out of 10 because there's really no problems with it at all. This is like one of the best like articulated Miles figures I think we've ever gotten. It's a really, really great Spider-Man figure for sure. You can get him in all the different poses. As for like figure looks, I'm gonna give that like an 8. I'm gonna give it minus points just because obviously the hips are a problem. But once again, like I said, when he's in poses like this, you don't see it, and if you're anything like me, you're going to be posing up your action figures. So I don't really think it's too bad of a problem. But obviously, yeah, that problem is there if you do just like put him in a vanilla pose. But yeah, like the design of it's really, really well done. I like it. It's very classic. The size of him is definitely tiny, so that's like another thing. But to me, like that is pretty accurate, so I'm not gonna complain about that too much. So overall, I'll give this one like an 8 out of 10 because once again, the articulation on it is just super, super good. I can't get over that. Like he's so buttery. He came out of the packaging just like so smooth. I didn't have to, heat him up or anything. So that's always good, for a figure. Yeah, so this one gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Definitely a good Spider-Man figure. We'll do some comparisons of him with other figures now. So this is him compared to the Amazing Friends 3-pack Spider-Man. And as you can see, he's very, very tiny. And this Spider-Man's even smaller than, like, the average Spider-Man. I try to get him in a similar pose so you can kind of, like, see the look of it. But, yeah, that is, like, the size comparison. So he definitely, like, towers over him. And, yeah, here's, like, the head comparison. It's definitely smaller. So, interesting that he's tiny, but I think it makes sense. So I don't mind it. Okay, now next up we have the Banshee figure, which this is one I was super excited about because I do have this one, which is obviously very similar, but I've just been wanting this green classic costume for the longest time because I need him for my X-Men shelf. I haven't been wanting to put this one in just because I was going to repaint him, but I never got around to doing it, and then they announced this one. So yeah, this one I'll either just sell or use for extra parts, who knows. But here is the Banshee figure in all his glory. Finally, this has been on like many people's wish lists, rightfully so, because giant size X-Men. This is actually when I started reading comics, this was the first comic I've read besides like the Spider-Verse stuff. So actually, it's not the first comic I've read, but it's like when I really got into comics. This is what I started reading, and I'm still on the Uncanny X-Men run. I think I'm on like issue 175. I'm pretty sure. So this comic means a lot to me because it started my, reading of the X-Men. So I was super happy to get this figure and also get this accessory with it because the X-Men are my favorite part, besides Spider-Man, of Marvel Comics. The Banshee figure is finally here. I can finally put him in my setup, which I'm very excited about. We'll go over articulation quickly just because it is like pretty much the same as this figure. A little bit different though. We'll compare it because I already could see some differences, but really quick, he's on the hinge joint. This blocks his, like, looking up a little bit. If you kind of get it, like that, you can kind of get him to look up a little farther, but not the greatest, but, the collar is a part of his look, so I'm not mad about it. Then he has pretty good butterfly joints. He was a little bit tighter in packaging, like out of packaging, I mean, than Miles. I didn't heat him up still, but I had a little, like, not trouble with him, but he was just definitely a little more, like, tight than Miles was. So that's one thing. But yeah, good butterfly joints. We got the hinge here, so you can get him in the flying pose, put his arms out, swivel there, double jointed arms, of course, the hinge at the wrist. Honestly, I thought that this was a swivel cut here for a little bit because it does have that line, but it's not. Then for the torso part, we just have him on this hinge like this, a little tight there, but it goes all the way up, and then you have the cut there. For thighs, got the swivel, kicks up that much. Double jointed legs, and also the ankle rocker, and you got a cut at the boot, which is really good. So yeah, his articulation is pretty nice. And for hands, he has 2 fists, which were equipped on him. He's got this kind of like pointing one, I guess if you put him in like a flying pose, and then like kind of like a hand, just like I guess when he's flying to like kind of be a little tensed up, but like he's doing like that kind of motion. And then same thing from the Miles figures, you have this hand to hold the giant. Technical difficulties. And anyway, as I was saying, you do get this hand to hold the giant size X-Men comic, which I always love to see. And as for other accessories, you do get this alternate head with him screaming. People always say, why are his sideburns, why they disappear when he's screaming, but I think it's supposed to be that his hair is blowing in the wind. But let's get it on so you guys can see what it looks like. Yeah, that definitely looks super cool. I love it. Great head sculpt right there. So let's do some comparisons, though, to the old figure, so you guys could see the differences. Also, this is him holding the comic, in case you were curious what it looked like. Okay, now comparing him to the old Banshee figure, let's see. The collars do look a little bit different. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like it comes, like, in a little bit more. I don't know. It definitely looks a little bit different. Obviously the costumes design is a little bit different because he has the X logo, he's got, the blue, and then the yellow comes down here, whereas like it's more yellow there. But other than that, the figures look pretty much the same. This has the yellow part there. Obviously, he's got that painted on. So just different costume designs. I feel like though the like wings on this one look a little bit darker than this. These look a little bit more like transparent. I don't know if that's just me, but these ones look a little more like dark. They honestly look better in my opinion. Another thing that looks a little bit better to me on the older figure too is the head sculpt. Sorry about the noise of these little like frilly things, by the way. So I feel like the head sculpt on this one's a little bit better. It's a little more realistic, because the hair is a lot less like bright orange. He has more highlights in this one. This one's more just like straight up orange, a little bit bright, which I do like my bright colors, but I feel like in this case, the one on the left looks a little bit better, so that's no problem. I could just swap out the head sculpt if I really want to. Yeah, and even the face looks a little bit better, I think, on the one on the left. It's a little hard to tell. I'm trying to get to focus for you guys. It's similar, but a little bit different. Let's get the other ones on and compare it. Yeah, so once again, you could see this one on the right, which is from the new figure, he's a little bit more orangey in the hair. This one has more highlights, and yeah, this one just is more like skin tone. I don't know how to explain it. Like, this one just has more of like a rosy kind of look to his face. They're both good, for sure. So it's nice that you have both, that I have both, so I can like swap it out if I need to. Really quick, just for science, we're gonna swap these heads and see how it looks. Okay, so here is the old head on the new figure, and I feel like that looks a little bit better. I don't know. This is the old head. This one was just a little bright for me. I might display him with this one. We'll have to see. And here is the screaming head on the body. This is the old one. Yeah, it looks a little bit better in my opinion. I don't know if that's just me or not. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Very similar, but a little bit different. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you very much for watching this video and just watching me open these figures. I didn't give a review for Banshee. Banshee for me, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I mean, yeah, solid figure. Nothing wrong with him. Good articulation, pretty good accessories. And yeah, once again, Miles was like an 8 because, you know, I didn't really love the hip part, and I feel like he could use a little bit more hands. And he's a little bit tiny, but I understand that. So overall, really good figures. Happy to have these. I can't wait to get them into my collection. It's gonna look really good. Tie up some, you know, different displays like the X-Men one. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been More Than Plastic. I will see you in the next one. Bye.